It has to rise twice? But I need bread now. Oh, hello. I know I'm supposed to be doing this episode right now, but I've got a bit of a problem on my hands. Supper's going to be ready in 1 hour, and all of the recipes for bread in this book take way too long. I need bread in an hour or less. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't just pull a loaf of bread out of my pocket. Wait a minute. Beer. Bread. Beer. Bread. That's it! Tonight, we're making beer bread! Beer bread is popular among lazy folk everywhere. Legend has it that one night somebody found themselves in a situation similar to mine this evening. Dinner in an hour, no bread, and no time to make bread. So they did some fast thinking. There's yeast in beer, there's yeast in bread, so why not use the beer to make the bread? Although it's not actually the yeast in the beer which makes the bread rise. It's not nearly active enough anymore. Well, let's get started. You'll need all-purpose flour, sugar or another sweetener such as honey, sorghum, or molasses, baking powder, salt, and olive or vegetable oil. And of course, beer, whatever kind you like. The more flavorful the beer, the more flavorful the bread will be. Molasses as a sweetener works excellently in breads made with dark beer such as stout or porter. Try different varieties and combinations. Beer bread is versatile, and even a bad beer can make a pretty good bread. First, preheat the oven to 375 and grease a large loaf pan and set it aside. Use between 2½ and 3 cups of flour. I use closer to 2½ cups to make a nice moist bread. Add a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. If you're going to add any other dry ingredients, add them now. Try different combinations of herbs and spices, or shredded cheeses, although that will make this non-vegan. Once the dry ingredients are thoroughly mixed, make a well in the center. Add the beer all at once. It will foam up and then settle down a bit. Add a few tablespoons of olive or vegetable oil. This will help make the bread moist and tender. Stir the liquids into the dry ingredients, making sure to scrape the sides and the bottom of the bowl. Mix only until all of the ingredients are moist and try not to overmix. Place immediately into the loaf pan. The dough should be moist and sticky, but try to spread it out as best you can. It doesn't have to look perfect. That's good enough. Place it into the 375-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes. It'll be done when a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Sweet. Why don't you get out the other pot holder and use both hands, unlike me? Turn the bread out of the pan and place on a rack to cool. Be careful as it will be hot. Once the bread is cool, slice it with a serrated knife, preferably a bread knife. You can store the bread in a plastic bag or wrap it in plastic wrap and/or foil. It should keep for up to a week and it freezes fairly well, but it's best consumed within a few days. Try it as is or toasted with any or all of your favorite spreads. Well, that was easy and fast. Dinner was superb, but I'm not intoxicated at all. All the alcohol must have cooked out during baking. But that makes it family-friendly and kids-safe. Tune in next time for information on something else. Now, what's a zephyr bun?